Well, I was living in a rundown townhome while I was going to school, and I probably stayed there too long, but it was cheap, and it allowed me to save quite a bit of money that I used to buy a home. And based on the housing market at the time, buying a house just seemed like the best financial decision for me. So we finally settled on a three-story home located in a small gated community over in Mill Creek. And it has granite countertops, these large slate floors, and 20-foot ceilings. So when you walk into the house, it really opens up, which kind of gives it this grand feel. The reason I really liked the house is it really kind of reminded me of the homes in Park City, where I had spent a lot of my summers as I was growing up. I'm what they call a third culture kid. I was originally born in Tennessee, but I moved to Singapore when I was only 3 years old. But we didn't stay in Singapore very long when my dad accepted a job promotion and moved the family to Hong Kong in 1992. Well, we were only supposed to be in Hong Kong for 2 years, but 26 years later, my parents are still living there. And, my childhood was adventurous, but it was a little confusing for me growing up. I was a gay, Mormon, white American kid going to British schools in Asia. So I'm really a mix of these different cultures, all of which, conflict with one another. So trying to make sense of who I was or who I wanted to be has always been a little bit tricky. And that lack of stability and kind of insecurity as far as who I am or where I come from kind of led me on a search to kind of find a place and build a place that was representative of who I was. And that's really what I feel like I've built. My home is a representation of me. Artwork covers the walls from various trips I've taken with my husband, and every piece in the house really has a story to it. Whenever I've traveled, I've picked up something each place that I go, and my favorite pieces I have are two Dan tribal masks from the Ivory Coast in Liberia. Well, I got them in Arusha, which is actually in Tanzania, near Mount Kilimanjaro. But these masks are from a cannibal tribe in Liberia, and they're over 100 years old. And the masks hold a great significance to the Dan people. They're used in ceremonies, and the Dan people believe the masks embody their ancestors' spirits. So when they put them on, they're able to become their ancestors in a way. And the workmanship is really impressive. They've got human hair tied into them, grass, feathers, and they're embroidered with seashells, which was the currency of the people in these tribes and is considered very valuable. So they're kind of scary and a little ugly looking, but to me, I really like them, and I have them prominently displayed in the house. So the reason the masks mean so much to me, other than just being really cool pieces to put in your house, is because I got them in Africa. And I'd always wanted to go to Africa, and I traveled to Tanzania to help my parents with a charity they set up. So back in 2014, my parents summited Kilimanjaro and realized that a lot of the porters, the guides who took them along the trail and guided them, didn't really have adequate equipment and nice coats and gear to keep them warm. And so my parents came back to Park City and reached out to Deer Valley Ski Resort and were able to get 3,000 ski uniforms and ship them all the way to Arusha out in Tanzania to distribute to these porters. So from the time I was about 14 till really about 26, my parents and I didn't have a great relationship. And so having this great experience with them that really was, the trip of a lifetime. I'd always wanted to go to Africa, and to be able to be a part of their charity and also spend time with them was amazing for me. And I wanted some art that would be a good representation and reminder of the trip I had and the people and cultures that I was exposed to while I was there. What I love most about this house is that everything has a story. It's kind of like an art gallery or a museum of my life, of the travels that we've been on. And all the things I've done and the places I've been, I've tried to bring a piece back to remind me of that experience. So there's a lot of symbolism in everything that you see. growing up, I didn't feel like I had a place of my own or a place that really fit and represented me. So building something that was mine, that I designed on my own, built on my own, meant a lot to me. And my home is something that I can feel proud of. It's an accomplishment of how far I've come, and it's full of all my great memories and the fun experiences that I've had.